So we can either not get along or get along.
Yeah.
And we kind of just chose to go the easy route there.
We chose to
and
be
also
friends.
we're all awesome. Honestly, if I had to come to class with a bunch of people I hated, I would really, really hate school.
Yeah, for sure.
And never want to come in, and I'd probably end up being really unhappy coming to class every day.
Probably size. I mean, in my English class, there's about 20 people, but I know them all about 2. In this one, we've all been in the same class for 3 years, so I know everyone's name, where they're from, everything.
Pretty close-knit group of friends that where we can joke around with each other, but at the same time we can be serious and truly help each other out. And because we spend every class together, we don't take it personally, and we know the other person really means well.
We see each other at lowest points. Yeah. We have no sleep and have had to be up all night. True story. It's like a brotherly sister kind of thing, how we all just kind of fool around and joke with each other about the entire class, but still give each other good points on their design where they can build from. Yeah. I mean, we got a good solid group of people that just joke around, but I've other studios are like, I need to get this done, and if you talk to me, I'll punch you in the face. We'll just got a lot of bullshitters.
There you are. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to digital design. Whoa.
He's done all of his. He's done all his rambunctious things now.
Oh, what are you doing?
A lot of inside jokes, which is nice to come into every day. Like coming to class if I'm feeling shitty, and then someone would just be like, "Oh, Comic Sans." I mean, we're all dorks, but we're still dorks.
Aww. We have very similar
It's beautiful.
interests, I guess. We all like nerdy things like video games and like design stuff. Like when we're out at restaurants critiquing menus.
We are lucky that nobody takes anything too personally.
Yeah.
Like nobody takes things too personally. Except for Brian.
I cry.
Brian cries.
Yeah, I mean, if you get in a group project with other class you don't know the person, and you're like, well, do you want to do this? And they might be shy and be like, oh, we don't do that.
I'll do whatever.
But you're talking about. But in this, we're like, oh, we know you can do a layout. And we're like, there you go.
Or you know coding, so you will be the main
There you go.
code.
We know each other's strengths and weaknesses when we play well off.
True. Well, well said, sir.
Thank you. I'm a scholar.
So far that there's like 2 different types of class dynamics that I see, and I see that you guys probably fall into this one, where there's one that everyone seems as though they'll have no holds barred to critique each other's work, and because you have a willingness to help each other even while you're sitting there and I'm not talking to you or it's not a crit, but to look over at someone else's and say, hey, what if? You know, it brings up the level of quality in all of the work, and I think that that's the true dynamic of how a studio, an office studio environment should work, or at least the one that I worked in, that we were pretty successful. So you guys have an ability to talk back and forth and critique each other, whereas some other ones, they're so focused in on their project that they're not willing to comment on anyone else's. So it's only about making mine better. And maybe if it might, I don't know for what reason, it could be a number of things. Maybe they're to look at other people gives them anxiety or something because they're trying to do theirs well or whatnot, but I definitely think that you fall into the group who are supportive of each other. I think that if you guys have an ability to talk to each other and criticize and laugh with, the level of the work goes up in general because you're helping each other along the way. So I definitely think possibly maybe the grades are more to what the students are liking because they're working together to help each other get where it needs to go. Critiques when you guys talk, and again, you have no fear of saying, hey, I don't understand that, what were you thinking here? Not in a mean way, but I just don't understand it. And once they give you the comment, you say, well, what if you tried this, or what if you've tried that? I think that those are productive design environments. And I think studio, depending on where you work at, like whether you're working corporate or a small company, the environment changes a great deal. But yeah, it's just a bunch of people, and we all have our desk space, and we have our stuff hung up on our desk space, and we laugh a lot, hopefully, and continue to work and be very productive.